Oh, I've already started. We're going.
Oh, okay.
But I will explain it to you later. So, and I'll give you a link.
This is how it is. 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 Today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is. Today. This is how it is. Today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is. This is how it is. Today on Pop Culture Minefield. Today on Pop Culture Minefield.
I don't mind that Long Jaunty tune because he gets my butt bouncing in the seat. I just don't know why I like that theme so much.
Me
But
too.
we have
Don't
our-
worry about it.
Grooving to it, doing some disco dancing. We have our good friend Mephisto here and our dearest and closest friend, Deleted Scenes, also known as Stephen. And Stephen is
Also known
reporting to
as
us,
I won't make it to the show.
won't make it to the show. He is here today, and he's in New Jersey right now, reporting on the drones flying over New Jersey. And somebody says, "Do you think they're aliens?" I said, "Aliens don't want to go to New Jersey. No, they're not aliens." Deleted. Are you even here? Can you report?
Yes, sir. I am.
What's going on
Yes,
with those
I am.
drones?
I am live on location in Bayonne, New Jersey, and I am completely surrounded by drones. The drone attack is real. I repeat, the attack is real. The
There are
military will
theories.
soon be moving in.
There are theories that this may be an offshore, coming from an offshore Iranian boat.
No, it's the IDF.
I can neither confirm nor deny that at this time.
I
that is
found
the
this
rumor.
just to have some fun. This
Oh my
place,
God! No,
somebody
no,
shoot
no.
me. By the way, the caption of that tweet is "Too soon?" Question mark.
Too soon? Question mark. It's been over 100 years and we still got a problem with it. Yo, man.
Just to have
Americans
some
get-
laugh before we start the show.
Amen. And I hope that, of course, that clip didn't.
This evening is ruined. Look, wait, what?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, got a new show that we're going to be doing on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. It'll be part of the regular show, but it'll be very special. And I was going to present the logo up in the top right corner so you guys can see it. And this is when we do the best fantasy films of the 1980s. And it's going to be fun. There are certain films that I've had laying waiting for us to go into. And there's a couple of them we've already done. Like I did a special with Andre and what's his name? Heavy
Tom?
metal dude. That's very conservative.
Razor Fist.
Yeah, Razor Fist joined
Yeah.
us, and we did a Conan the Barbarian one. But the fact is we've never done Conan. So I want to do that 1982 classic. It is a fantasy action story that I love deeply. And,
So we're going to
and I've
start
got a
this
new
fantasy
intro for it.
show with Lady Hawk next week.
I
that
think
what you
that'd be
planned?
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think you-
plan that to be part of it. And I will, put the new intro. Let's see, how big is it? It's still huge. Wow.
Damn it, Diva.
No, just save it. Save it. Intros is for intros. Like you can have 15
just-
minutes intro, like Flashcast or something, but save it for the intro. Don't put it on. Make it a surprise. I'm working on a new intro for my stuff. It just takes a long while to do.
Yeah. I can do them pretty quickly. I did this over the last 2 hours. Anima kept asking me questions, and I'm like, can't talk doing things.
I needed to figure out how to do the slideshow because I've only done it once, and that's not how I learn things. Doing it once and then not doing it.
But she's
yeah.
learning. She learned how to host a video for the show.
Good. I mean, you still said sideshow, not slideshow. but
No,
okay.
I say slideshow. Jesus Christ. Oh, both of you. Stephen, are you at least on my side here? And somebody needs to address that backdoor breach.
Look, I'm not.
Okay,
I can't stay
I
long
can
on
be
a
the check breaker.
Wednesday, so I can't stay long on the Wednesday. Let's just start the show. Come on. Enough dilly dallying and enough horsing around. Let's
You're
go.
just here to shit on me and derail. Admit it.
You.
Yeah, sorry for my cat. I fed her
No, I
before the
have
show.
not,
don't know why she's
Wade. I
sloppy.
apologize. I've not. It's been a hectic week, and I have only gotten to jump over in the chat on one show this week, and it's because they were flirting with my woman. And I jumped in there. I said, "Hey!
That was
That's my
Pops,
woman.
yeah.
That was Pops." Somebody bought her a membership.
I got a
and I went,
membership, yeah.
hey, nobody gifts my fiance. That's my fiance. Alpha male. Ooh.
Yeah, you are hearing Rocket Kitty, who has a wild hair up her ass tonight. It annoys me.
It's more fun when you have wild hair up your ass.
Fuck off.
We got deleted scenes in the chat and on here. Penny is here. Oh wow, Bush McFadden got his new membership. Look at you, Bush. We're gonna play you a little video. Where's it at? There it is. Took my cat to the vet yesterday for their annual, I'm not sure what, annual checkup.
Yeah, you do that with all the
flogging?
cats. No, you do
Their
that with all
annual
the cats.
flogging. Yeah, beat the cats like once a year.
No, Jesus Christ.
You shouldn't say that in front of, Mephisto. He's Jewish and everything.
What? You can say anything in front of me. I've heard the most outlandish Yahtzee jokes ever. Spoken
My
by
brother-
Jewish people.
My
people.
brother Michael, Jewish as the day is long, and he told me one of the worst Jewish jokes I've ever heard. But he also said one of the funniest ones. He came in, he'd been gardening. He came in with just sweaty, strapping, muscular, good-looking Jewish guy. I shit you not. This is my brother Mike. I could not pick up a girl when I was hanging out with him because he's so fucking good-looking.
It's
I
the
was
hat.
17.
It's not your face. It's the hat.
But my brother was just chiseled good looks. He comes walking in the house and he'd do the same with his lips. Yeah, I was outside. I was just thinking, you know what happens when a Jew walks into a wall with a full erection? I went, I don't know what. He says, breaks his nose. And that's how he would laugh. He goes, Mom. And I'm like,
Dude,
Mike, you're Jewish. What's wrong with you?
I always didn't understand how much hate we get, especially in America, where I get it. Some of I say us. It's not me. Some of us are real pieces of shit, especially when you get like executives that are like that in the music business, in Hollywood, all that stuff. I get it. I totally get it. However, our people are one of the funniest fucking people on earth. Not because of regular comedy. It's that dark humor comedy
Yeah.
that is really good because A, it's funny, and B, it's dark and you can laugh about the darkest stuff, and it's clever. Not smart, it's clever. And I like that. I do like that.
My dad has a lot of Jewish friends, and I grew up to Yiddish jokes, and I fucking love them. They are really dark, but they are great.
And growing up here, you have to understand, we've got like Jews from Germany, Jews from Poland, Jews from Iraq, Jews from Morocco, Jews from all over the place, all over the world. And you would hear when I grew up, I heard the most racist jokes ever. Each country had like the stereotype. Those are the cheapskates. Those are the whatever squareheads. I'm not even joking. The outlandish, racist as hell. It kind of went away because it, defeats the purpose. But plus, the old stereotypes are not. It kind of melded all together into one group, so it's a bit different. But
No,
I
found that there was a commonality that was created. Like when I was younger, people from different cultures would tell jokes about their cultures, and it was just sort of a way of like softening things. And I mean, I knew a lot of Polish, Jewish, and Italian kids when I was young, either in my family or extended and friends. And I think I had this one Polish Jewish friend that told me just one of the most fucked up funny jokes I ever heard in my life. And it's a long joke.
Yeah. It's a big setup.
I'll truncate it because it's this long story that you've got to go find this specific toy shop. When you go in, you need to look for this very specific doll from Poland, and fictional name for it. And goes through this whole thing, just long story. He says, then you get it home, you wrap it, you give it to your kid. The kid opens it, tearing that wrapping off, gets the doll out, gets the key, puts it in the back, cranks it all the way up, sets it down, and it just stinks. And that's what I did when he told me the joke.
One of the funniest jokes that I've ever heard actually came from Chris Rock. Totally off, like not really Jewish, but it's about racism. And he's like, who's more racist, black people or white people? Black people, because we hate black people too. Half a double entendre because it kind of plays on, okay, who's the more racist? That's that whole thing. And he goes into this long ass spiel, and that's the starting point, and it kind of escalates into more and more stuff that he kind of differentiates himself between black people and N-words. That's his two angles, and he tries to explain how black people are good, blah 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 blah. But those N-words, those are the problem. It's about a 12-minute rant, and it's one of the funniest.
I've got to look this up. What was it on? What was he on?
I think you can get it on YouTube.
I'm sure it's on there.
It's a bit. Which I don't remember if it's Bigger and Blacker, I think. I don't remember which one. It was one of the first ones, either the first one or the second one. It's fantastic.
I'm just
That
going to look
whole-
up Chris Rock rant on racism.
Yeah. You'll find it. You'll find people reacting to it. And that's even
I
funny.
love Chris Rock. I've always found him so
Chris
funny.
Rock is the best.
And
I went to see
I'll
him
tell
when
you
he
who my
was here a
favorites
couple
are.
of years ago. Maybe even more. I think it was, pre-pandemic, so 2019. But he was
was in
not.
Tel Aviv.
He was
or
not
where
in a
he?
good state. It was after his divorce, and I didn't know he was
He
divorced.
went through a dark period.
He
with
went
his
through
comedy.
a dark phase, and then I caught his Netflix, which was kind of what I saw live, a little bit, tweaked here and there for like a special, and it was very sad. I think it's called Tambourine. Parrot Head's got it. It's Bring the Pain.
Bring the Pain.
Bring the Pain.
That's what it is. Yeah, I just found it. Okay. So I want to tell you something about that kind of comedy where you draw things out. Norm Macdonald, God, I miss that man. He made me laugh. Anima goes, I don't understand. I'm like going, he's like at a different level of comedy. And half of his shit is done in a way to troll the audience. And he went on Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, so if you're not American, you're not getting the joke.
It's going to be hard for you. So he told the moth joke. This moth is going through this existential crisis. Just goes into detail of the problems he's having. Goes on for like 6 fucking minutes on this joke, and Conan is just like sweating bullets, going, "Is this going somewhere?"
Yeah.
And finally, he gets to the end of it. And the doctor says, I don't understand why you want to see me. You should be seeing a specialist. Why did you come and see me? And the moth goes, well, the light was on.
Yeah.
All of that for that punchline. Trolling the audience. And I was so tickled by that. And he was a gift to comedy, Norm Macdonald. And Chris Rock was a big fan of Norm Macdonald, too.
The level of craziness that some comedians can go to, it really depends, and some of them actually, like Dave Chappelle is really good, but when he started off, when he was doing his like first specials, I think he was working, especially when he did the show, he was working with Neil Brennan. I think his name is Neil Brennan, and they really riffed off each other. And Neil Brennan was a stand-up comic, but he's not a good performer. I've seen one of his specials. He's not sharp, but he's a great writer. And he worked with Dave Chappelle, and Dave Chappelle really appreciates his writing. Nowadays, he works on his own, so
I know exactly who you're talking about, and he is funny.
I think his name is Neil Brennan. I'm not sure.
It is. It's Neil Brennan.
Yeah.
Neil Brennan is, in my opinion, a better writer than he is a comedian. I think he's written some of the funniest shit. And he and Chappelle are actually very close friends.
Very close friends. They don't write together anymore, but they used to for the show, for the Chappelle show. A lot of it, some of the most racist, outlandish stuff came from Neil Brennan, and Chappelle's like, I love this guy. They loved working with each other and riffing off each other.
Well, there's something about comedians who don't give a fuck. And like Bill Burr is one of those guys. Bill Burr, he'll irk me sometimes because I feel like he's going the wrong direction on a subject, but then he'll take it someplace that I still fucking laugh at it.
Yeah.
And I love comedians like that. They just aren't afraid. And they hate people. These are the people that hate the ultra woke, because I'm going to say it again. Keith and I are both woke. We're very woke. We're very liberal-minded people. I'm a conservative, but I'm a very liberal-minded conservative, socially liberal. And I've always stood for certain values that, basically is about free speech. And I love free speech. And your best comedians that are out there right now are some of the best critics of this cancel culture and this wokeism that won't let you it's like if you don't want to hear jokes about teachers, if you're a teacher and you don't like that, don't go see a stand-up comedy routine. If you don't like something being said about other things, then don't go see a comedy routine. This is not your venue.
Yeah.
Comedy is for people who want to laugh at everything and be free to do it. Oh, Anima took over. Look at that. She's on it. 20 minutes in.
We derailed it for 20 minutes.
20
Now,
minutes.
this was a great conversation. This isn't derailed to me. This is like what I like doing.
I'm joking. But
I
we
know.
need
We
to
all
start this.
Yeah, because
But
I
you
need
and
to
I-
go soon.
You and I started our
bed.
bromance, and when you and I started our bromance, we were just feeling each other out on the show, and so we
Okay.
derailed the first 2 times.
Just wait till we do my show at some point.
I know on the 28th, right? Or what is it?
I
have it on
my calendar.
27th. 27th.
27th.
We're redoing Gremlins 2. 28th. We're redoing Gremlins 2. Like you do it 1 week before I do. So
We did
I'm
it
gonna
this
do it with-
Saturday.
Well, we may
No,
do it Saturday.
Gremlins
It all
We may.
depends. Yeah, we may do it this coming Saturday if Tom's available.
Yep.
and I'm gonna get Tom on as well. I want him to.
Nice.
First of all, he did the first Gremlins with me. So when you did it, I jumped in. My head was so wiped, I couldn't even join the conversation for the 5 minutes I was there because my head was blank from the earlier show. I was going off 5 different directions. I just wanted to come up and say hello because
People don't
That's
know.
a Friday, though. Guys, that's a Friday. How are we going to coordinate that with TGIF?
No, 28th, not 27th.
That's a Saturday, same shit. We stream at the same time. Are you going to make this work?
You don't have
I
anything
will.
scheduled on the 28th.
What
Yes,
I'm
we
going to
do.
do is
I think we do.
I will do an hour with Meth and then
Sure.
jump on our show.
All right.
And
Okay.
I think that'll be the best way to do it. Unless you can do the show, because what time do you start our
I
time?
could do an hour earlier, but I
That's what I'm
usually
asking.
don't
If you
do
do an
that.
hour early, I can do your show and then jump over. I'll be like almost useless on our show. But how's that
Um,
different from any other day?
You guys have nothing for the 28th.
Well, we don't. We're not scheduled for it right now, but we do have plans for
Yeah.
all of our shows.
Cancel
We
them.
planned out the whole month.
Well,
It's just
look,
not
it
all set up
wouldn't.
yet.
I could
You're
also.
not going to do
let-
it now, but yeah.
I could let somebody else be main host, and then when your show is over, I could join back in and do the second half of the show and just stick with-
We'll
doing
try
this.
and accommodate. I don't mind doing it like an hour early. It doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
thank
try to-
Parrothead and I'm sorry, T-Bud
I try
Martin
to
and
stick to my
Parrothead.
times. That's all. Yeah.
No, I think you should. I think it's important to be on schedule. So Parrothead sent it to me privately, and D-Bud shared it here in the chat to go watch Bring the Pain with Chris
Yeah.
Rock. Absolutely worth the watch. I think he's a brilliant one. So let's get into this because this opening scene
Mhm.
is really one of my favorite Equalizer moments from the film franchise. And when you zoom into his eye, you see what he did coming in, killing all those people, because they walk by and see all these dead people. And then
Yeah.
when you look into his eye, you see his own memory of what he's already done so far. And then this guy is like, why have you come to my place, and done all this damage? What do you want? And he tells him very simply, you did something and you need to rectify it. And then he begins to explain to him that this guy to my right is too close.
Yeah, it's too close. As soon as he said that, I was
He's
like,
already dead.
okay, they're all dead.
Yeah, they're all dead. And my favorite thing he says is, what makes me sad is he has a wife and child that's never going to see him again. And I'm like, God damn it, I love this dialogue. Now, something I learned today about this franchise that I was unaware of. Anima and I watched some of the behind the scenes making of stuff. I was unaware that Denzel Washington is the one who came up with the OCD shit, which I think is brilliant. That's all him.
I thought it was baked in. The one thing I noticed, because I've seen 1, 2, and 3 sort of back to back. So in 3 days, I've watched back to back to back. And the thing that was
I'm gonna get him the
obvious,
link to that video.
the thing that was obvious to me.
Find that?
Sure.
Yeah.
The thing that was obvious to me is they set up this whole sort of before it moves from calm moments into like action moments, there's that slow motion effect. Now it was more pronounced in the first one, and then in the second one you do get to see that, but like it's sort of shortened out a little bit, and in the third one you barely get to see it, barely, because the director or whoever made that decision was like, okay, I know you've seen the first one or the second one, so you get the whole thought process before kind of he gets into the
There's a certain amount of expectation.
So we don't.
Yeah, you're talking about
have,
expectation.
Exactly. We don't have to explain it to or show it to you again, because you already know what is the thought process that goes through his mind right before the action goes. So he sees the left, he sees that guy moving his, twitchy arm. So he already scoped out the room before it goes into action mode. And when it happens, it goes, bah, goes super quick. And
Yep.
I like that because they do not belittle the audience that is already there. So the people who have already seen 1 and 2, they do not insult their intelligence. We don't have to show it to you again. You understand. And the people who just come into this movie are like, okay, this dude is awesome. So they go back and the realization of what is the thought process or what is the action process that is happening, you get to, oh, that's how it happened in the third one, because I see it in the first one.
Yeah,
It's very
the whole
interesting.
meticulous nature that he created in that first film. And it was not baked into the story. That was something that he brought to the character because he noticed certain things that he did. And he said, that sounds like somebody with OCD. So he went and did his due diligence, did his research. And because Denzel's one of those guys. And look, this has not been a good year for Denzel because he got roughed up for being in this sequel to Gladiator and came out with talking about doing a gay kiss, and that the director and the studio decided to cut the scene. And then they came out and said that never happened. We don't know what he's talking about. And it made Denzel look bad in the press.
Have you seen Gladiator 2?
No,
I have.
I have. There is a kiss, but it's a peck on the cheek, a peck on the cheek. He just lingers a little bit more, but it's not out of the ordinary, and it's certainly not gay. And the guy who he kisses is not gay either. There's no
I have no idea.
There's no homoeroticism
was
there
about.
at all. Like at all.
It's weird, dude. It's weird that Denzel brought this up. And it leads me back to a thing that, I've talked to about with you. What the fuck is going on with these celebrities and their fucking publicists? Is nobody telling them to shut the fuck up anymore?
If you ever seen a Denzel interview, he really doesn't have a publicist. I don't
he's
think
also
so.
very grounded normally.
He is. I've seen the interview about the kiss. It's a fluke. I don't know what was going on because, like I said, I have seen other interviews with him, and you can say he's based. He's just a guy has a common sense. He's an actor, but he knows who he is, what he wants from life, and he's not really dragging into this whole Hollywood thing. So I sort of felt out of place. That's what I'm saying. But
it does. It seems so unlike him to have even gone on about this. And then he got made look bad, like I said, by Ridley Scott. who said that never happened. I don't know what he's talking about, and saying basically he's full of shit.
Yeah. Plus,
But-
the guy who was interviewing him was the Variety guy who he specifically always seeks that gay angle to everything.
He
And
likes
he
the
asked him a
controversy.
question, and it kind of I think he threw him off for some reason. I don't know.
I tell you, man. I don't know if you saw my post today that what's her name, Gemma, that played Strawberry Fields in Quantum of Solace. Beautiful British girl.
Mhm.
And she
Gemma,
said that
Gemma
they need-
Etherton?
yeah, it's her. I always say Gemma, but is it Gemma or Gemma? I don't know.
Gemma.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
Gemma
Gemma.
Etherton.
He very based comment that they need to leave Bond alone, respect the tradition, the masculine tradition of Bond, and stop trying to change him to modern and stop trying to gender bend him. And I was like shocked. And this is in a Variety piece. And my post today was fuck Variety, but God damn it, that is so awesome that Gemma said that. That is so based of her. And it tickled me. I'm like, that is awesome that these actors are finally standing up. Now, this scene, I want to point out, really cool moment because he walks out of this building. Everybody's dead except for that kid.
Yeah.
And he walks out and suddenly he gets shot. And you know the moment he gets shot because his body tightens and his left leg or right leg goes up. And then he's
you know what?
And he's aiming for windows and and he doesn't realize the kid shot him.
When I saw this for the first time, I didn't realize he got shot. I thought he heard the sound and I thought the boy missed because he turned around and he was still standing. And just even at this point, I was like, was he shot? Was he not?
He was shot
Only
right in the gut.
When he was went over with the ferry and got to the road and somebody found him, that the cop found him, that's where I realized, oh, he actually got shot. You just don't see the blood at this particular moment.
Yes, clothing is
Yeah.
absorbing it all. And right here, this moment,
I think he was shot with it. I think it was shot with a 22. That's why it
was
took
a small
so
rifle.
long to.
It was a kid's
yeah.
rifle,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter because it still pierced the it most likely pierced his intestines.
Yeah, probably.
And if it didn't, it's pure luck because he was gut shot. But this moment I'm paused on is so important because he considers self-deletion here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because he knows where he's been shot and he doesn't want to be captured because he knows what'll happen and he doesn't want to risk giving up any information. And
Yeah.
so he's prepared to self-delete here, but something changes his mind. And that is part of the drive of this story is he feels I'm not done yet.
Mhm.
Right there, he pulls the weapon away and he realizes I'm not done yet. I'm not
He
giving
thinks
up.
that at first, though.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
that's what's so great about this opening is you get what I refer to as the rules of combat. You see what he's capable of for those who haven't seen the first two movies. You know what he's capable of. We know what kind of action we're going to be seeing. So he is set up as a character beautifully in this very quickly, and exactly he has that moment of no, I'm not done yet. It's almost like it's like he knows there's something coming, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, if you look in the private
It
chat,
is
I told
so
you,
great. Yeah.
there is a name for what you're talking about.
Okay.
It's ROE, also known as rules of engagement.
Rules of engagement. Yeah.
And for combat. And the ROE changes in small variations depending on the kind of conflict. And you'll see a moment in this film that kind of I really like because knife fighting is one of the most dangerous kind of fight to get into. Gunfights, it is what it is. But there's a good chance you can avoid being shot in a gunfight with the right movement. the odds of you not being cut by a blade in a fight is really small. The odds are you will be cut. And in fact, that's the first thing we were taught in hand-to-hand combat with blades is you have to allow your mind to get over the hump of being cut. And when you get cut, you're already in your head, you have to accept the fact that that may cut muscle, may cut blood vessels. And I only have seconds to do what I need to do. And you have to accept the risk of being stabbed or cut in a knife fight. And you try your best to avoid it. And he does one in here where he actually bolts backwards away from the guy's blade. And the minute the blade moves to a certain way, he charges in and ends up snapping the guy's arm with the blade in it. But in a real hand-to-hand fight with a blade like that, there's a really good chance you're going to get cut doing what he did. Even well-trained.
Yeah.
And this is so good because you see this doctor, this small village doctor, and this village was damaged in real life where they shot by Pompeii. And there's still debris in the town, the village, from Pompeii right there.
You mean from Vesuvius?
I'm sorry, Vesuvius. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pompeii is the city that is
It's the city
there,
it's Vesuvius.
there, but no longer there. Yeah.
And there was debris here, and it's pretty far away. And he's been treated by this doctor who's removed the bullet, and he's going to have to slowly recover. And the doctor asks him a great question. Are you a good man or a bad man?
Mm-hmm.
In this scene? And the answer he gives is, I don't know. Which tells the doctor he's a good man. And you find that out near the end when they have a conversation about it, that he knew he was a good man from the moment he wasn't sure at the end of this scene, not the end of the movie.
Yeah. I think that if he would have said, I'm a good man, then the doctor would have known, yeah, he's awful. He's a bad man.
Yeah. And another good answer would have been, I try, but I don't know.
Which is the same as, I don't know. By the way, this was shot on location, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Matinee, which is very small and glued to a mountain and full of stairs.
Very narrow roads and walkways
It's
and
the smallest town in
tall
Italy.
buildings. So they had to be cognizant of sound. Because
have you ever been to Italy?
I have.
I've been to Tuscany a couple of times. Now, Tuscany is more, not mountainous, but more hilly. It's not like Milan where it's a little bit more mountainous, but it's very hilly. And most of the towns are built on hilltops. So Siena, Florence, Pisa, in a sense.
Right.
A lot of these small towns are built on hills. So you drive in and there's a moment where you cannot drive up to something. You have to walk. That's a very, it's a walk and a half. Let's just say that. So when he started to like go down and then going up the stairs, I was like, I completely understand how a normal, uninjured person would do this. For an injured man to do what he did was like an super extra, like exercise. It's very difficult. When he walked up to like the church, when he met with Dakota Fanning's character, and he sat down and he was like, whew, that was a walk and a half. That is, for a regular uninjured person, you would have been huffing and puffing.
She said that in an interview, that she admired the people having to drag heavy cameras and equipment up all these stairs because she could barely drag herself. It's not really accessible for cars, towns like that. So
no, it's not. A lot of it is like, it's a lot of narrow passageways, and there's a certain point where you physically cannot move anything, especially if you're like driving these. They have these small trucks with a flatbed, a lot of them, that are really narrow, but the flatbed is a bit too wide. So there you can go up to a certain point, but then it's like it depends on which town, of course. But yeah,
I put a note in there if you didn't see it. It's like the closest I ever got to Italy was Monaco. And
not really, not really.
It's close to the border. That's as close as I got to Italy.
Yeah, I think.
But I did eat at a traditional Italian restaurant that was owned by Italians, and
You don't
it
need
was
to go to Italy to
coastal.
do that.
It was
My-
coastal, and
My first
it's
day,
like a giant cracker, is all it is.
my first day in Italy, I went into a roadside restaurant with my wife in 2007, and the place looks very dodgy. Very dark. So the grandma was sitting in a rocking chair by the side in the restaurant doing whatever.
That
When-
is how you know
so
it's a good place.
It's a dingy place, but we had the best cheeses and sausages ever. It was
I think
great.
this goes for everywhere, all over the world. If there's family and if there's locals, it's a good place.
Yeah.
My favorite thing when I was in Spain, I went to Marbella, and I just remember going into this old hotel that had been built in probably a couple centuries old, this building. And the guy that owned the hotel had a bar downstairs. It was a very friendly bar. And I would go in there. I spoke no Spanish, and he would mime to me a lot and to get things done. His name was Beto, I think. And I got to watch him play dominoes one night with some other locals in the bar, like after lights out, everything's closed. They're just having this. And I've never seen people get so fucking angry in my life when somebody does something in dominoes. And he's banging the table and yelling in Spanish. And I was just enthralled by this. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Are they going to kill each other? What's going on here? And the other thing I really liked is he kept a slab of bacon that he would carve off and fry. And
That's
I'm
something that Italians and Spanish people share. I haven't seen it in France, but I was in Paris, so it doesn't really
Croatia
count.
does it too. Balkans.
The ham it's a slab of ham, but it's
on a
on
pole.
it's
on a pole.
It's either on a pole or it's sitting down on this whatever plinth that they have it on. So like if you have like a sword that you want to display, it has like a mount that you put the sword on, right?
Oh yeah, that's
have it on.
I've seen that.
So take the sword out, put a ham in there, and they both have this long, thin knife. Both the Spanish do and the Italians, and they have it to slice it thin. It's fucking incredible. And that ham can keep for years because it's been sitting in this pepper and salt thing for at least a couple of years before they take it out. It's amazing.
They dry the fuck out of those things. So
yeah, and it's smoked. And he would carve off it and throw it on the grill to heat it up. And then he'd fry some eggs and he'd put it right next to it. And I was at first terrified to do it. I paused it because I needed to go over the fact that Dakota Fanning being in this film is such a tickle for cinephiles like myself, because I know that she starred with Denzel in the film Man on Fire. And it's one of my favorite Tony Scott films. I saw the original with Scott Glenn, and a young Joe Pesci is in that too. And it's a very good film, but it's nowhere near as good as the remake or readaptation by Tony Scott. And she was so good in that fucking movie. And it was so cool seeing her talk about working with him again. And that it was brought up by Denzel that this is another version of Creasy. That this is Creasy if he hadn't died. And I've said that this version of McCall is the same character of Creasy in Man on Fire. Just he's no longer in the agency and he's retired, and he's older and he didn't die in that gangster's house. So, and she really loved working with him again because it started immediately, the chemistry that they had together. And it's a fun interview. You just go watch the making of videos that Anna and I watched today. It was good.
He has known her for a while because she went to school with his daughter. So there's always been contact that way.
Yep.
I do love the fact that what they did with her character is it starts off sort of slow, but then you realize why she was able to trace him and why he called her specifically.
Yeah, the end reveal is great. Who she is.
It's a slow burn. That reveal is also a slow burn because you get pieces of it and you sort of like understand that she is a little bit more active in terms of she's not really a desk kind of an agent. She's more of an active intelligence agent. First of all, when you actually see her in the field, but then when she traces him for the first time, when they had that conversation in that coffee shop he was in, that it was like, okay, where are you from, who you are, and all that stuff. And he's being coy with her, and she's trying to extract some information, but you can tell she's frustrated because she can't.
Oh, he's playing with her.
Yeah, he's totally. He knows everything that she could even try to find out. And he knows exactly the way she's going to do it. He just knows everything. And it's his ability to understand what's going on with this whole situation. He has a what you would refer to as a skyscraper view of all this shit going on, that he pauses her outside that station because he knows that they've rigged her vehicle.
Yeah.
And he saves her life again. Connie Cleary is here, by the way. Ranker Steve is here.
Have some
good
more
buddy of
joining,
mine.
yeah.
Darkwood
Dax
Presents
is
here. What? Oh man!
Yes, we need a video. I tried to point it out.
Oh no, Zax is here.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. Do we have any videos for him? I don't know if we have anything for him.
I don't know. I'm not Martine. I'm trying to fill in here, but
he says it's usually in the main studio, I think, where the good ones are. I'm looking for it.
It's under branding, isn't it?
Yeah, but we don't have all the videos in all our studios. We have different studios for the different days of the week. Makes it a bit complicated.
I don't know where he separates them in a weird way. So Martin is not here, and I don't know if he'll be joining us. So I'm just going to play this one.
Fuck you, Kyle.
There you go, Kyle. Kyle.
I think you would prefer the one with Aquafina.
That's you, cat. But I can't find it. I don't know where it is.
I like the one where she's like, "Shut the fuck up, Kyle."
Yeah.
Oh, I found it.
Shut the fuck up, Kyle.
There you go.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
She has a voice like she would have been a great, like a South Park character. Or something.
Yeah, she's got such an annoying voice. She sounds like a caricature of a real person. She doesn't sound like a real person.
And she also looks like she swallowed those cotton balls, like in The Godfather, but without actually swallowing the cotton balls.
Paul, let me tell you something. Now, I didn't go so far as what somebody else said, because what I thought they said was kind of mean-spirited. But I have said that Tony Scott was the better director in that family. Tony is an actual director. Ridley is an amazing cinematographer. And he's just, his understanding of story structure is, if you listen to him talk about story structure sometime, you will sit there and go, does he know what he is talking about? You'll just end up like he's saying weird things because his focus is on movement and setting. That's what he loves. And he's very good at drama, especially visual drama. What he's bad at is visual storytelling. That's where a real director would come in handy for him. And Tony was a master at it.
If you ever get a chance to see Gladiator 2, you'll see all the Ridleyisms that people kind of don't like, where it's
Yeah.
full on visuals rather than storytelling.
Well, it's sort of
And-
like what he did with the opening battle from the first Gladiator film. He was trying to create chaos. And I said, yeah, but in creating chaos, you're confusing your audience. Well, that's what I wanted to do. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. That's the opposite of what you're supposed to do in filmmaking.
The thing is, in the first Gladiator, you had a pretty solid script and a really good
Very solid
actor
story.
that fit
Yeah.
the role. In the second one, the script isn't good, and even Denzel can't carry you because he's not the main attraction. It's the Gladiator is the main attraction.
Mhm.
It's like did in the first Gladiator, did Proximo, was he the main attraction of the movie? No.
No.
Like the Gladiator was. Same
was-
with Gladiator 2.
it was
Only Denzel
character
plays the
arc.
role of Proximo, but not Proximo.
Right. So you've got the story arc, and the character arc is that of the main character played by Crow. Coming back to this one, this is the first sign of trouble in the village with this gang showing up. And this is where I think this is the scene where you see the guy in a wheelchair get thrown out a window and hanged.
I think
That's when he
before
realizes
I
that
think
this
that's
is not
later.
paradise, that they are in
Is it later?
trouble,
Because I can sort of is it this coming scene.
the Camorra has their hands on this village firmly, and that's when he realizes, because
Well.
his original purpose to go there to Italy is to retrieve that
Okay,
old
it is the
man's
scene.
retirement money that has been stolen from him.
There's
And
the
then
guy
he
in the
gets
wheelchair.
shot and ends up finding the mafia shit that's going on there.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
taking
it's
over
this
this.
scene when he
The
when he leaves-
the hotel.
Yeah, when he leaves the building, is going outside. You see the guy in the wheelchair thrown out the window, and what you don't realize is something's tied around his neck, so the chair goes down, and he's left hanging.
Yeah.
Pretty awful.
Yeah, it's just brutal.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
this is it.
Equalizer. All three movies are brutal in the killing style.
I love buildings designed this way, this old Roman way, where because I was talking about that restaurant in Mexico that I really liked that had this style where it had an open center.
Yeah, it's an open like the inner court building. Yeah.
And I love that kind of shit.
There's plenty of them all over Italy. Yeah. And this is supposed to be like Sicily. I don't remember if they
It's
say
Southern
it
Italy.
or not. It's supposed to be Sicily
Yeah,
because
that's what I remember.
the Camorra is like the biggest thing in Sicily.
Yep.
Palermo, all that stuff. It's just not Palermo.
Did you ever hear about that confrontation between Frank Sinatra and Mario Puzo over The Godfather?
I've heard about it. I think Sinatra.
Sinatra confronted him in a restaurant.
Yeah, I think so. I heard the story. I don't remember the entire details. And from my understanding, the whole angle with the Hollywood executive that had a horse in his bed was as a result.
It did
of that
happen.
or something.
Yeah, it was associated with the film From Here to Eternity. But later, there was this confrontation between Sinatra and Mario Puzo. And Puzo's just sitting there eating his dinner very calmly, doesn't get upset. Sinatra came up there and started saying shit to him, and do you know who I'm connected to? Do you know? And Mario's response was, "You're Northern Italian. I'm Southern Italian."
A big difference.
And that's all he said to him.
Big difference.
And
Yeah.
Sinatra shut the fuck up and left.
Yeah.
And I've always been amused by that story that Sinatra, was shut down because he was saying, "You're blue-eyed. Your family's from the north up in the mountains near the Alps. I'm from deep southern Italy, Sicily. I'm Puzo." And basically you
people
call who
don't-
you want and I'll call mine.
Yeah, people don't understand how important it is, because if you understand how Italy is or was, It's a major difference. It's sort of like calling it's the difference between the 5 families of New York and the families in Chicago. There's a massive difference between the two.
Oh yeah, and you had the mob out on the West Coast too. But they
Yeah,
didn't
and
do
the
it
one
well.
in was it Kansas City? There was like a branch in Kansas City, one of the families, but that
Yep.
was more of a Chicago thing than a New York thing. So the
And that's what it
Midwest.
is. It's a network. It's networked out
Yeah.
of someplace, and Chicago is where that came from.
Yeah.
I want to point out a nice little comment here. You brought up a film in here, Last Boy Scout, Man on Fire, of course, Crimson Tide, True Romance. Unstoppable is another great film. But Last Boy Scout, my God, what a shit show that was in the making of that film. They had so many fucking problems and changes. And they tried to turn the black character into a comical character. And it was Damon Wayans was pissed when he played that role. And at some point, halfway through the shooting, Bruce Willis and Damon just fucking hated each other. And they had to do all those scenes together in the making of that film. If you've never watched it, go watch it. It's the making of I just forget, Last Boy Scout. And it just talks about all this crazy shit that happened in the making of that film. And it's a miracle that movie got done.
I love that
Absolute
movie.
I do too.
I
But
love
so
that movie.
much bullshit happened in getting that film put out. And it's a miracle.
Awful. Story-wise, sometimes it just does
Goofy.
not make any sense. But I love that movie.
Just I love the movie so much, but some of the stuff is so extraneous and just I couldn't believe how that was like structured, to be honest with you. And Tony, I don't know what he did, man, but he pulled a rabbit out of the hat on that film.
Yeah.
And I miss Tony, and it's so sad that he self-ended on that bridge there in LA. I don't know why. You know,
I heard somebody say,
you know,
I heard somebody
family,
say it could have been Tom that said the wrong brother died. And it was
that's
like,
who said it, and I didn't want to say that. It was brutal when he said it. I laughed.
Then it's definitely
but at the same
Tom.
time, I'm like, oh my God. You know, I will never go that far because I have connections to them, you know, and if you, oh my God, I would not want to be brutalized by some of the people I know because the Blade Runner film and my involvement. And so I watch my P's and Q's and I would never go that far, but I am critical of Ridley Scott as a filmmaker. This guy is really a good character actor right here.
Yeah.
He's been in
a lot of stuff.
13 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, he played my buddy.
Yeah.
In there. And Paul Smith, he will be missed. Tony it broke my fucking heart, and I did not think we would ever get that Top Gun sequel. And I felt like it was an homage to him.
Oh, absolutely. It's the film he never made. It's shot to look like one of his films. And yeah, I can't go on. I've gone on a number of shows about Top Gun Maverick. I love that film. And
it is
I think I teared up
best Star
a little
Wars
bit.
film. It's the single best Star Wars film since 1980.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely. You know, and when his name came up at the end in memory of Tony Scott, I teared up a little.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Here's that scene, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Where he says, remember what I asked you? Are you a good
Yeah,
person or
right
a bad
here.
person? And you say, I don't know. The relationship of those two is so sweet.
The thing I don't agree with is Denzel said that the franchise should continue. It should continue with Dakota Fanning taking over. And I'm like, I just don't think that's going to have any kind of draw. I just don't.
It wouldn't be the franchise, but her character sure has stories to be told.
No, her
But it
character
would
should
be
continue
Equalizer.
doing it. But I think that the best thing to do is to go back and retell the story. and go to a younger actor, showing how he becomes the Equalizer. And I think that his son is actually one of my favorite younger black actors going right now. And he would be one that Antoine Fuqua should probably nab to play the younger McCall.
If they do like a prequel stuff, I really hope they would go. I know they wouldn't, because Hollywood loves their franchise. If there is an IP, they would call the IP something that would either rhyme with Equalizer or whatever. But if they do like a prequel of him as an agent or out doing jobs and stuff, or black ops jobs, call it like McCall or something, right? Don't call it Equalizer the prequel. Just call it McCall.
No, I get where you're coming from on that.
Plus, you can get like even a young actor and try to build a new star in Hollywood, maybe.
I'm all for that and against the de-aging thing.
And also using unknowns is one of my favorite things in filmmaking, is tell a good story and use unknowns.
What the director likes to do anyway. He said that in interviews.
Plus, in terms of like, if you're looking at the money wise, if you get a young actor, you can get him for cheap. And if he's good, go for it.
Totally agree.
All right. I am going to, before you go on, I will love you and leave you for now, guys, because I have to go to bed. That's how it is on Wednesday.
It's a rest, my friend.
Always a pleasure. Always.
It's midnight where you
always
are.
good to see you, my friend.
Yes, it is midnight, and I had one of those days, but it is what it is.
Thanks for joining.
So, thank you,
Take care of
guys.
yourself,
Thank you,
brother.
Chad.
See
Love you.
Take care.
Enjoy yourselves. Join us on Saturday. I will, of course, always redirect you guys. By the way, I may join you on a Friday if you're doing a show.
We are always doing a show on Friday.
Yes, and we'll do classic
last
films.
Friday off.
Classic films on Friday. I will give you lists of the films so you don't have to go look if you want.
Yeah, I will try to join you. So for now,
all right, man.
Good night.
Good night, brother.
Bye.
Okay.
All right, guys. So the actor that we were talking about a second ago, that's him. That's David Dennon, and he's just go look him up sometime. He's all over the fucking place. Now I saw somebody said David Harbour, and I went, no, this is David Harbour. This is David Dennon. They kind of similar actors, but they do look different. But
right here,
David Harbour is in the first Equalizer film as a crooked cop. So he is in this franchise. But this guy here is the one that's in this film, and he's CIA. And here's the young lady that likes him.
and she's actually from the region and speaks the regional Italian, so that must have been fun.
Yeah, they create a love interest for him. Someone else that he will want to protect. And they let you know in the second film that the other thing that drove him the direction he went was the loss of his wife.
Yep, like John Wick. When there's nothing else to lose, you can go and turn into a vigilante.
Well, there's a rule in fighting. Never fight a man that doesn't have anything to lose.
Yep.
And always be the guy that's got nothing to lose when you go into a fight. And it's the thing that I was taught to do. Let go of everything. All that matters is this moment, nothing else. Don't second guess yourself. Trust your instincts. And this is the guy that taught me that, my big brother. Although my grandfather also gave that to us as a lesson too. I love that Empire Strikes Back hat. I miss that hat. And by the way, do you see how I have to squat down to hug my brother? Because I'm so fucking tall.
Yeah. You are.
I had to bend over slightly and put my arm around him because I'm so much taller than all my siblings.
I need to step on a chair when I want to kiss Gary.
I know, it's nice.
No, he's sitting down most of the time. But
by the way, this is one of my favorite things that was brought to us by the Italians. right there. The Vespa.
Yep. I mean, you can't move otherwise in a city like that. You need something small.
Hey, by the way, Darkwoods, tomorrow night we're going to be doing a classic horror film. Greg from Fanzine and Nadia.
Tonight, Gary. That's tonight.
Thursday.
It
I thought
says
it was
for me
Thursday.
it's on the 30th at 3 a.m. So that's today. That's what it's set up. I don't know. Talk to my team.
Well, he's not here. How convenient.
Yeah, he was talking about half an hour without the internet, and it's been an hour now. So sucks.
Yeah, I'll be there 20 minutes late. Whatever. Mexican internet.
Who knows what that technician was doing?
No, it's Near Dark is tomorrow night.
Okay.
I just looked. It's showing for tomorrow night. And Anima watched it today. She enjoyed it.
It's a vampire movie.
Hello?
It's not to enjoy.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It was a fun watch.
This is a cool scene because he knew she was there. He knew she's trying to be all sneaky with him.
They had fun shooting that scene.
Yeah, we did Evil Dead 3 months ago on the show. Every month, Greg, Naughty, and I do a show, and we did Evil Dead. We did Evil Dead 2, and then we did Army of Darkness was the last one we did. And that one was called, instead of 80s Fright, we called it 90s Fright, because
It's
Evil
not
Dead
80s.
3 Army of Darkness is a 90s film. And it's so funny because she's like talking to me. She goes, well, can we do this film? I said, no, that came out in the 90s too. And she's like, I'm a 90s girl. I can't help it. I love 90s movies. And I said, I'll tell you what, we'll leave the 90s open and we'll change the title for that night whenever we do a 90s film. Darkwood says, don't kill the microphone, deleted scenes.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Gary has killed a microphone before, so who knows?
Yeah, I broke the cardioid diaphragm in a microphone with my voice once. Cracked it. Like,
Oh, that's a great dialogue.
Rick Thompson was like, how the fuck can you do that?
Yeah, you need
cracked
to be
it.
on the other side of the room when you sing.
Yeah, I had to stand 10 feet away from the microphone for a lot of things. I have to watch the volume of my voice because I bellow. And I never, I made a joke one day. I don't have to spank my kids because my voice terrifies them. I will shock them like electricity will. You could see, like my sons, I would, hey, and the whole body would just tighten and arch backwards because my voice was so sharp and loud. Yeah, I've made fun of Bruce to his face about some of that shit. I was having dinner with him, Josh Becker, at a Chinese restaurant in downtown Urbana, Illinois, after we did a festival together, and for the movie Running Time that Bruce started. And he made the announcement in this, it was like back in 97, when he made the announcement that he was moving to Ashland, Oregon. And I just immediately quipped back. I said, yeah, there's a lot more room there for your ego to grow. Josh, crack Josh up. I just love Bruce. Yeah, we can pull it down. And the thing that sucks about this poor cop is, he's in a town run by the mob. And he doesn't know how to do his job.
Well, he wants to do his job, but to do it properly would mean he would probably get killed.
And he's also dealing with a department that could be corrupt. We know the chief is
very
involved with
corrupt.
these people. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are.
So it's like he doesn't know who to trust, really.
Now, this has an interesting connection, too, to the story within the original Man on Fire. The original Man on Fire did not take place in Mexico. It took place in Italy. And it dealt directly with mob corruption in the area. and a kidnapping. Yeah, and he didn't just
Welcome
work with
back,
Sam.
Matinee.
The first member of the Detroit Mafia group was Josh Becker. He went to Hollywood before any of them to be a filmmaker. He was making movies, and he made some of those short films with Bruce. The Waiter, I think, was not directed by Sam, but directed by Josh Becker with Bruce. And I met Bruce back in the 90s, and he introduced me to Josh Becker. And Josh and I were friends for, 35 years. So, like, he trusted Sam Raimi. Yeah, absolutely, though. But go look up Josh Becker's work. He's a very good film director. He's the very first film job I ever had was because of Josh. And it was with Bruce, which is why if you go to my website, here, let me put up my email real quick and I'll copy link. My art website has a review by Bruce Campbell on the page. As he said, my artwork is groovy, baby. There you go. Yeah, I don't see her being able to be good at action scenes. So if she were to continue on the story, if they wanted to go further, she would still need to be tied into somebody else that did the physical shit.
Yeah, but her future going forth as an agent, there's stories to be told. Just if you want to go action, you need an action guy in there or girl. Because she's a good actor. But not for action movies.
And one of the comments I kept hearing from people is his lip in this film, because the right side of his lip sticks out a lot.
He's just getting old.
They were like asking, is there something wrong with him? And I'm like, no, his lip has always done that. Always done it. It's just more prominent now and more noticeable because he's like 70 years old, for God's sakes.
He's still so fast for a 70-year-old.
It's a good dramatic
Look how
scene.
she looks at him.
Yeah.
The question is, are you crazy?
No, she's just trying to find out who he is, what he is, and why he's helping her with her career. That's what he's doing by getting her involved.
She has severe PTSD and she forgot that she's Pita.
What?
But
Peta is the child from Man on Fire that she played.
Oh, okay.
And seeing him is stirring her memories. So,
well, teaching her how to react to the sound of a gun during swimming, and he fires the gun in the air for her to run. But she can't leave him, and she comes back, and that's when she gets kidnapped.
I need to watch that.
Oh,
we're
everybody
going to
needs to watch that.
There are two versions of that film. That is the best one by Tony Scott with Denzel.
I'll believe you on that.
The thing that made me sad is that there wouldn't be any chances for more films, even though there are more books about Creasy. Because Denzel and Tony decided to kill him in the end, that he dies.
You spoiled the movie for Anima.
He does that all the time. I'm used to it. I forget what he says all the time anyway.
Oh!
I like this scene.
Oh, what are you? Hey, oh! Little Miss Muffet sat on her duffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider, sat down beside her and said, yo, bitch, what's in the bowl?
Okay, whatever that was.
I don't know what you're having, but I want some.
Andrew Dice Clay.
That's Andrew Dice Clay comedy.
Hey, Stephen.
Yeah. Hello, Martin. How you doing?
Ah,
Good.
That
Fun
was
with
funny. How you
technology,
doing?
huh?
He asked how you doing, and Stephen first goes,
Well, you know, it's one of those days.
I'm
I
good.
really love this scene. Is it you're warning me? I'm preparing you. You
Oh
know,
yeah, he has great lines in his movie.
And that
and
pressure he puts on that joint
mhm. And
is what?
interesting tidbit, at least to me. The only time in all 3 movies that he swears.
Really?
Yeah.
There it is, the median nerve that I'm compressing, and I'm only applying so much pressure. Now, if I increase that, and the guy goes, is in pain, and they don't want that, so you're going to tell them to leave.
Mhm.
And we're going to have a conversation.
now, there's a part in the confrontation in the little square in which he his monologue reminds me a lot of. It's like hearing Greasy talking again instead of McCall.
I
Hmm.
wish you had more time.
Exactly, exactly that moment.
Sooner than you think. Sooner than you think. Yeah, I love that.
Here, I'll take your wish for you. I wish you had more time. I love that line.
Oh,
And this
part
is the follow-up, and I fucking love this action scene. They're like, we're gonna take this guy out, we're gonna fuck him up. We're gonna, how dare that motherfucker, this, that, and the other thing. They're being all badass, and then he wipes him out pretty quickly here.
Yeah.
Kills one with the van. Yeah, I fucking love that.
Now, what we didn't see is how he killed the guy that was supposed to bring up the van.
Yeah, that's
You
off
see-
camera.
Death by Michael Myers. That's what happened.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because this is something I've said, that if I were to do a remake of these films, I would make them from the gangster's perspective, like it's a horror film.
Yeah.
And he's Michael Myers, just stalking and killing each person. They're the protagonists in the film. We're just trying to do our job. Because in this, he's kind of the shape in this scene. Very reminiscent of the John Carpenter stuff.
Oh, imagining John Wick 4 if instead of the never-ending stare scene, you have John looking outside, and then from the shadows gets out. McCall emerges and says, "Need some help?"
Looks like Zax is putting
Yeah.
out some private messages to members. Because I'm a member, I get the updates.
And the thing that's also interesting is you're starting to get the rift within the gang itself, because they're brothers, right? Vincent and
The
the
main
younger
gangster.
guy, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
they're brothers, right?
Yeah.
Because you know they have that bit. Says, what do we tell Vincent? He's like, fuck Vincent, because he's so busy. It's like, Vincent has a plan. He keeps saying it through the whole movie. I've got plans for you. Just wait. This kid doesn't want to wait, and that's what kills him.
By the way, yeah, I've seen it on YouTube, the original film, because it was
Mhm.
put out by a smaller company, and so the copyright kind of fell on it. So you can find the whole film on YouTube, but I have a much better copy of the movie. It's one of those films that it's been a while since I've watched it, the original Man on Fire, but it's one that I like to pop in every once in a while because I like the old Scott Glenn movies from the 80s, man. His action yarns.
Right, he did some good ones. Yeah.
What did I say his name is?
Who's?
I think I called him Scott Adkins. I meant Scott Glenn.
Yeah, Scott Glenn. Yeah.
The last thing we saw him in that was big was he played the part of Stick in the Daredevil series. He's actually very good with martial arts and because he was trained back in the 80s. A lot of people know he, as I recall, I think he was U.S. Navy too. Navy veteran. Served in Vietnam. But Scott Glenn, I just fucking love the guy. And his version of the film is truer to the book than the version that was done by Denzel and Tony. But I love that movie. By the way, that's Scott Glenn. That's the guy I'm talking about right there. Very good actor. He's in The Keep, which we just did recently.
Yeah. I prefer him from The Right Stuff.
He was so good in that film.
Recently, it was 2 months ago. That was when I was with you.
Recently.
Feels like forever.
It's still recent in my mind.
Not in mine.
What are you, like a dog? You think like a dog or a cat? Like
No,
1 month
but-
is like 1 year is 7 years, 1 month is 7 months.
Now that
Anime-
I've been over there with you, I hate not being over there anymore. So it feels like
Anime-
forever.
Once you reach 50, 2 months are nothing.
I know. So give it a few years, baby. So like
I don't wanna.
he's also in the Gargoyles movie that I want to do on here too.
Mhm.
It came out when I was a kid. I love that movie, dude. But I'm trying to find it here real quick. She came to the Valley, Apocalypse Now. Because yes, he's in Apocalypse Now. There it is. He played
And,
Alan Shepard in The Right Stuff. I love that movie. We got to do it. We have to do it. On this channel.
And we have the right question from Jeebus.
Good question.
Philosophical one.
I think technically is they killed a human. Like chimp slaughter would be a man killing a chimp. Love Bernie Casey, man. Bernie Casey, great fucking actor. Man, him in that movie, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, was just made that movie so great.
Oh man, that movie.
Now,
Who are
we
these
build up
guys?
to this-
They're my soundtrack.
They're my soundtrack. Because that's how I opened Keith's show. Hold on a second. I can find it here.
It's not
There it
soundtrack
is.
though, it's theme song. Every year I should have one.
There we go. Here we go. This is the opening theme for Keith's show. I wrote this and I loved writing this because I wanted to make sure we wouldn't get copyright stricken. So I just wrote it.
Put your hands on top of your head.
Well, I did.
Wait, that's not his. Where's it at?
No, we're on Chief instead of Keith.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
it. Chief and Keith sound so much alike.
Yep.
Hey, Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah, all cleaned in oil.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Hot damn, it's time to get down to the jam. It's time to get down, it's time to get down, it's time to
Get down to the jam. Back to the movie. I love writing that. And his brother, James, loved it so much. He says, "Do you have a longer version?" So I went out and I finished the song. And I sent him a 2-minute 45-second version of the song. He liked it. Is Zach still here?
I haven't seen him in chat for a while. Maybe he just popped in
He
to
was
say
running
hi.
from something,
You know,
and then he crashed into a DUI checkpoint, committed 10 felonies, and not to mention FUing a room full of cops.
You FU me all the time.
Fuck you, Kyle!
Sax,
Just in case.
if you're among us, give
He
us a
was.
signal.
He was here.
yeah, and Gary had trouble finding the video because
Oh my god!
we're fumbling
You weren't
idiots without
here.
you, Martin.
What?
This is a good scene. By the way,
He has crazy
if
eyes.
you're not watching it, The Old Man is a great series.
Yep.
I
It is
still have to
basically
finish that.
John Wick if John Wick was over 60
Are we caught up on that
and
one?
could occasionally
Like he
get his ass kicked.
wasn't he originally supposed to be in the 60s?
In the
Yeah.
original clip, in the original script, he was retired, older.
How old was Keanu when he started that?
Doesn't matter. He doesn't age. He could
No,
be
he
100
does.
for all we know.
He does. I
Not
remember
really.
seeing one of the documentaries, and it says, now I feel everything. Everything."
He doesn't look it.
Oh, this
though.
is the scene where she gets the call. He calls her, so she stops to answer the phone call. And because of that, she doesn't die in this explosion.
You could say that a voice from the skies saved her.
Now, I will say that there's not a whole lot in this film of the close quarter hand-to-hand combat. But for his age, man, I still like that he does. He does have a stunt double, a much younger stunt double that makes him look good.
Oh, it's a pity that in the slideshow wasn't the frame in which he kills the brother
Right.
with the knife and look at his side, because he always has to look at the faces of their his primary targets. He always has to look at their faces as they die.
Now, this is a good scene. This is where he goes out there to give himself up to save the village, but then people in the village stand up and protect him. By the way, I want to say hi to Big Al. I just saw that you had come into the show. And of course, I saw you were here, Monkey. Good to see you, my friend. Krampus. Oh, man. Sounds like you're having some sort of Christmas-oriented PMS.
Oh, my God.
I'm having some Krampus.
And Connie Cleary is here too.
Yeah, I already said hi to Connie.
Krampus is more like a pain in the ass.
No.
When you've been a bad kid. No, when you've been a bad kid, Krampus will be a pain in your ass. When you're a good kid, he will leave you. Oh, Nicholas, the
What would
next
you call anus cramps?
That's not good.
God. Gary.
Krampus is a thing over here, okay? He's St. Nicholas' companion who deals with the bad kids.
I like the idea of Krampus.
Yeah, well, it does get out of hand occasionally because they do meetings where young guys show up dressed up as Krampus and things get violent sometimes.
Really?
There's alcohol
Ooh, I'd love to
involved.
see videos of that.
They terrify children and sometimes they end up beating each other up. So it's problematic.
Well, at least they do not beat the children.
Sounds awesome.
It's a rural thing, you know. They're bored. They have
Oh, this
nothing
is where
going on. So
He owns killing his brother.
Here's Demon answering your question.
yeah, Diva delivers.
Called him
I
Gary.
expected nothing less.
You bastard. I'll get you, D-Bud. How dare you?
I'm sorry, guys. She's a nightmare today.
I can barely hear her.
Yeah.
She's more than I
Oh, I
do.
hear it.
She's saying, me? Me?
The lighting of this scene makes him look like a vampire.
Yeah, true.
Well, he's blood sucking everybody, no?
Bateman's girl is here?
Yep.
The list should be up to date. And now Martine can take over.
No, I won't. It's all
Please
yours,
do.
Monty
My
Hunter.
cat is a nightmare today. I'm glad you're here finally.
Okay. I'll do it. Whoa! The freak.
That was a dick move, Gary.
He deleted the show.
This guy looks like an actor that should play the just forgot his name, the villain in Doctor Who.
Mephisto.
No, the villain in Doctor
Oh,
Who.
Doctor Who. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the guy that's always chasing him. He's
The
from
Master.
The Master. That's who he should play. Because he looks like the actor that originally played him.
Yeah, Dibat says it too, the master.
Yeah, Anima got annoyed at the way these guys are eating spaghetti.
Dude,
They're Italian actors and they don't know how to eat spaghetti.
They probably do. They just don't give a shit. But I'm like,
I gotta
some
admit,
table manners, please.
every time I see this scene, I get hungry.
What's going on,
Who's
Steven?
digging in their pockets? What is that?
That's coming from Steven, but
What is?
It sounds like you're rooting around in your pocket with your microphone.
Yeah.
Oh.
You clear it? You stop? You found it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Oh, we're still hearing it.
Well, hold on.
I swear to God, it sounds like you put the microphone in your pocket and like trying to find some change.
How about now?
Hats with chin straps are so weird to me.
Yeah, to me too.
Japanese do it. The Italians do it.
Brit.
Now you see, but well, no, I'll wait until the end of the show.
For what?
Oh, for comments on the movie, but I don't want to interrupt the flow.
Doesn't bother you any other time you do it.
Fuck off.
Well, we're getting to our up to our final battle here, if you can call it that.
No, it's not a battle.
You actually don't see a lot of what happens.
No,
he got everyone like a ninja.
Yeah.
I like how the guy in looking at the security feed He's looking at himself, and the shadow coming at him from his back, and the guy is, what the hell?
I love that it's like the statues are watching the violence, so we don't have to. All we see is the blood and the shadows.
Really does turn into a true horror movie here.
No, I'm telling you, dude, he is a horror icon in a movie that they are the protagonists of, and he's just slaughtering these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
right.
This one and the first
like
one.
in a horror.
The second one was more action. Yeah, but the first one, man.
Well, the second one's more of a personal journey too. It's more of a journey. He's got to go all the way back to where he used to live with his wife. And we're going to take a momentary break here to promote the channel. Where's the video?
Hey guys, don't forget to click that like, subscribe, and notification button. We appreciate you watching the show. Now, back to it.
This is a show that I am looking to do on Military Monday. It is from Finland. It just got released, the first 2 episodes. And I'm actually kind of impressed with this show. I suspect that it is politically driven. And because the villains in it are clearly Russians. So I don't know what to make of that, but it's still a very well done show with military personnel in it getting trapped after an invasion to a small town in Finland, which of course sits right on the border with Russia. So it's got a mixture of English, Finnish, and Russian in it. Mostly a mixture of English and Finnish. There are 2 American characters, military, that are there serving with them. And I plan on doing that on Military Monday at some point. I want to get Anima to watch it with me. It'll be interesting because I watch with subtitles on if she understands anything they're saying. Because I don't recognize anything Germanic in what they're saying.
By the way, now that we are promoting, I am putting on the chat the links to the books written by our good friend John, also known as Das Wolfen. So you can check it out.
He has 2 books available right now. The Tomb of Thunder, which immediately my brain went, the Casket of Farts.
There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you, you know?
I know.
Everything is wrong.
Because the minute you say thunder, I immediately think of farts.
So you must love Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Thunder Road, all that stuff. So he's terrified. He's running around with a gun, firing into the dark. And then we have this great moment. Like,
echo?
Yeah, we got an echo from John, Stephen. And basically, it's that Batman moment. Where are you? In the first Batman Begins. He goes, right here. That's
ASMR by Batman.
Yep, there you go. Oh, there's nudity there. Martin, you didn't catch that. You let the boobs in statues.
Yeah, but they're not real.
Yeah, but they're nipples. Americans are terrified.
Not to mention a naked vag shot there just now.
Oh,
I wonder if we're going to get some penises now.
Most probably.
You had one job.
Yeah, the name of the book is The Tomb of Thunder. And just my brain just immediately goes to pervert it.
Okay, here's what we're going to do, Gary. We're going to put up paper and a pencil next to the toilet. And whenever you're doing your business, you need to work on a graphic novel that's called Casket of Farts. Here's your toilet project. Because we did poetry in my mom's holiday home.
This is so great here because
making little poems.
He's got him tied down, and he just gave him his own drugs that he sells. You're going to die. You're going to die from the drugs that you've been killing other people with. And you only have so many minutes, and then he cuts him loose.
Yep. And the guy's
And just
terrified.
follows him out into the street.
The guy knows what
This
he's
is-
in for. He's seen overdoses. It's
The other thing I like about McCall is he is an agent of karma. They're some of my favorite characters. And thank you. Thank you. They're some of my favorite characters in film, as well as in comics and novels, is agents of karma that are there to set things right and to make those who are guilty be punished.
It's his only function. He has no other purpose in his life.
And by the way, to get that sound with Christian Bale's voice, they did put an augmenter on his throat. Because he was delivering his lines, they're almost like whispers, and his saying enhanced the sound. I love this. Look at all those nice cars, man. Rich cocksucker. At this moment, can't buy a cure for his own fucking drugs. And they're having some sort of ceremony for the dead. The Italian version of what they do in Mexico and in parts of Spain.
No, it's ceremony.
Day of the Dead.
No, it's it's for this
Saint Mary.
No, that's the Virgin.
Mother of God.
Virgin Mary.
I'm
Virgin
trying to guess
Mary.
where you're going. Where are you going? Where are you going with this
Virgin-
one? The Virgin
They're
Mary.
making a procession for Ray Palpatine, you asshole. It's the Virgin Mary. Show some respect, heathen.
He doesn't know what
This
that is.
episode has been brought to you by Martin Stammer.
I do not stammer.
It's a stammer when you can't think of the word you're trying to say. It's funny. I love it. Because you
Look,
speak very clearly, but you do struggle. And I tell people all the time, take it easy on Martin, because he does very well with English, but he does struggle with finding the right word. Because
Yeah.
you can think of it. Even Anima did it with the other night. She's like, I know the word what it is in German. And she says it.
Dude,
And then
when
she
I'm
goes-
tired, my brain starts to mix up languages. So sometimes a word pops into my head in French and Croatian and German, but not in English. It happens when I'm tired. You try speaking 4 languages and separating them at all times.
Oh, he's already dead.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like I'll worry about that when you say fick dich to me.
That's never
They
been
actually
done.
know that one. It means fuck you.
I know, but I don't really cuss in German.
No, you're very polite in German. It's in English that you're horrible.
I mean, I do cuss when I speak German. I just don't cuss in German. I cuss in English or Croatian.
What's really cracks me up is when I hear somebody of a foreign language using American curse words. You can watch it in movies. You'll see someone talking and then they'll say a word in English and it's almost always a dirty word.
Well, you have the F-bomb. That's very useful.
Absolutely. It's one of the most popular words in the world for expression. People don't know that. It's they did a poll on it. One of the favorite words to express yourself is the F word. This is a good scene because she's in the hospital and he brings that bag of money.
And tells her to give it to the old guy.
as one movie called it, a big bag of smelly money. Now,
You
see,
know,
I like what's going on there because they're doing 3 different readings on her heart there on the monitor. They're doing sinus rhythm,
why are they
and
doing
the
that?
third
though?
one is the other. I'm trying to remember the name of that rhythm that they're watching. It's the AV node in the middle of the heart.
Yeah, but why are they doing it?
Well, if you've got somebody who's been in a massive traumatic injury to the chest, you'd want to watch and monitor the heart and see what's going on with it to make sure there wasn't damage. I'm assuming that's what's going on. So he's explaining some things to her about what this all got started by, how we ended up there.
And how their lives are tied together. This is when he reveals it.
Oh, and he explains that she is the daughter of his best friend.
Not yet. Not yet. It's at the very end when she receives the oh my god,
Yeah, but he
his
hints
phone
it.
book.
She says, I don't understand. And he says, you will.
You will.
She knows there's an explanation coming.
Better be.
So in the first time in the film, we're back home in Boston.
Say it like a Bostonian.
And here he is.
Oh.
The guy who
Bye,
started
D-Bud,
it all by
and
telling
good
him
luck.
about his stolen
See you, D-Bud.
money. Bye, D-Bud.
Imagine the other way to put on that previous conversation. Well, I was just hunting down to kill a scammer and found a lot of drugs.
No.
So I decided to call you.
She learned from him, answering with, that's a good question. He would answer like that. She learned a lot from him. Look how happy they are.
Hey, it's Boone.
Who?
That's the guy who played Boone in 13 Hours.
Okay.
My buddy Boone. I want to get him back on. I need to message him.
Oh yeah, please.
Oh, that one. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great.
those two. They are awesome. And that's the worst Photoshop ever.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And Robert McCall finds peace in his own little corner of the world.
For now.
They want you to believe that he's finally retired. Stephen, you need to mute unless you're talking.
I already did.
Because that echo is
That's
annoying.
Unmute when you need to talk.
Yeah. I mean, having
If you
watched
don't
all
know what
three
the sign
movies-
says, the signs they're holding up says make teal good again.
You want that for him so badly, having watched all three movies, to be retired, to be at peace, to have a home.
Yeah, he found a place where he can finally relax.
Well, he realized that a while ago, but now he finally can because he took care of the bad guys. And I really like
Anima went to the doctor today, and she got basically told take the next few days and then come back in on Monday. But she also told her doctor that I said it was RSV, and the doctor said, your boyfriend, fiance is right.
Yep. So that's week 2 of being down with this fucking virus. and it's kicking my ass. Well, I'm beginning to kick back, but
Would you say you're getting down with the sickness?
Oh,
Wow. What a great opening for a song. I fucking love that. But
Oh,
you know who didn't like it? Father Weems. He's frowning at me.
rightfully
are you
so.
sure?
You
I can
deserve
never be sure.
Yeah, it's like if you're immediately drawn to the left or right eye, and I
Yeah, Gary
immediately
knows
look.
what side of
I
his
looked
face
at.
to look at.
Yeah, I look at the face and I know that's disapproving.
Making jokes about thick people. What are you, monster?
So I hope whatever he has to go to the dentist for, I hope everything's good. All right,
Yeah,
let's do a wrap
I
up.
had a certain scene from a certain movie come to my mind when he said he's going to the dentist. The torture dentist scene.
Mhm.
Oh, I know what
That
movie.
one. Yeah,
Which one?
Yes. Is it
Which
safe?
one?
Dr. Zell
Oh,
asked him, is
yeah.
it safe?
Oh, that was horrifying.
Well, you see this tooth? The nerves are all dead in that. It's no good. Now, this tooth, we'll drill into that and there's some fresh nerves.
I hate torture in movies. That's really hard for me. And
You
dentists
don't have a
are-
problem with torture in real life. Okay.
Fuck off, Machine. I'm marrying Gary.
That's torture enough.
And he has it in writing now, so there's no way out of this. I signed the letter of intent to marry. Because that's part of the application
You-
process for the fiancé visa.
You two need to take a picture, like the cover of the album of Blink 182 with Anima putting a glove and Gary looking back again like, oh.
So, last thoughts about the film, guys. Stephen, you got any last things you'd like to say about it?
Well, for a third film in a trilogy, I think it rivals the first one. It was one of the better movies of its year. It's a straight up horror movie as far as I'm concerned. It's Denzel's Unforgiven. I'm a big fan of this one. So, yeah. Anybody who's out there who wants to check it out and hasn't seen it yet, you'll do well to check it out.
Martin?
Wow. Yeah, it's a good ending. I'm gonna take part of what Deleted says and part of what Anima said. It's a peaceful ending. You know, when you get fond of some characters, that is what you want for them to be finally happy at peace. And the last consideration, you see when the mobster is going to kill him, and everybody takes out their phones and start to film them, and they say, "Oh, we better go. This is incrimination." That makes you think: if instead of phones, those Italian people had guns, none of it would have happened from the beginning.
They
I
would
love
not be
that
able to come
moment
back.
though when the people in the village realize that they outnumber the mobsters. They can do something when they stand together against them. That's a great moment.
Yeah, but with guns, that problem would have been avoided
Right.
Well,
forever.
I'm interested in if you were to rank those three movies, which one's the best? What's number two?
Well,
What's number three?
What are your thoughts? I mean, what do you think? Which one's the best in your opinion?
The first. And I think I prefer the third over the second. And I'm not too sure about that.
The second one's more of a straightforward action film.
I
Yeah,
would
it
go.
is.
I would go 3, 1, 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? Okay. Stephen, your order.
I think you have to.
I would go first one just slightly over this one, and then 2.
Oh, in the same boat. Interesting. What's yours, Gary?
1, 3, and 2.
Huh.
The first one's just better to me,
Yeah.
and I like this one almost as much. And the second one's good, but it's third in ranking. I think the other two, first one and this one, have a better story.
Yeah. For action, the second one is pretty good, but for story, it's the other two.
Martin?
No, I just said this one, then the first one, and then the second.
Yeah.
Because the first one is a good origin story, and you expand. You know exactly how the timer works. They make sure that you understand the timer, and you see him hunting in the dark. That is what he does in the first one, and in the appliance store. But this one, he's more. It's like the shark. You don't see him doing the deed. You only see side glances, and I like that. This is really a horror movie. He's hunting in the dark, but you don't see him.
You see the aftermath.
Yeah.
The effect, the impact.
And the other thing is, I freaking love that part of the world.
It's beautiful.
That is the trip that I have to do before I die.
Funny,
And
as
I
we were
was
watching
so
the making,
close.
we were watching the making of videos, and they kept mentioning all the stairs in that little village. And the thing Gary and I like doing is go on Google Earth and then just visit film locations, like the village where they did Doc Martin and stuff like that. So I said to him, yeah, this is one filming location that we're not going to visit, which is full of stairs, because neither of us like them.
Now I have a cat scratching my door.
Well, be careful. You don't want to get cat scratch fever.
Nope.
Well, there is always more cowbell.
But actually, scratches aren't that dangerous. Bites are, because they close up and all the bacteria stays in the wound. Cat teeth are nasty.
I got to tell you, man, that's some scary shit, cat scratch fever. I didn't think it was a thing because I loved the song back in the day, but I ended up taking care of somebody that had cat scratch fever. They went blind for a while.
Yeah, all you have to do is let it bleed and then clean it to avoid anything like that. Basic wound care. It's not rocket science.
Oh, I really like this movie.
I'm glad we finally did it, because
I cannot remember if this had a great soundtrack or not. So was this good music?
You can only remember his hunting music,
I don't really remember too.
which is terrifying. I'm telling you, this is a horror movie.
Yeah, it's like a horror movie score.
Dun, 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 dun.
But yeah, I had fun watching this, and I remember we already watched the first two, and then this one was available on streaming, and Gary showed me the beginning scene, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in. Let's watch this. Let's talk about this too.
Yeah, just that opening scene had you hooked.
All the slaughter at the Winery. Oh my God. Yeah. I was in immediately.
It's just that kind of film. So I'm going to end this episode with these words.
You had more time.
There you go. That's Denzel as Creasy in another film that's basically, in my opinion,
The prequel to all of this.
yeah.
Is it?
So no, but it feels that way because even Denzel said it. Even Denzel said that it had some of the same DNA in it, especially bringing Dakota into the film because Dakota was in that film as a child. So, but that's it. And remember, these are not the same person. That's David Dennon that's in the film. He played Boone in 13 Hours. And that's David Harbour, who played the crooked cop in the first Equalizer film. So, and by the way, I can't remember who said it, but one of you wonderful people brought up the TV series. I would actually love to do a show dedicated just talking about the series, not any specific episode, but to do an overall discussion of the series, because I'm a big fan and I watched it when it was on. And I watched it with my dad. It was one of those shows that my dad and I both loved that we would watch together. And there were so many, but so few at the same time, films or TV shows that he and I enjoyed watching together. Hill Street Blues was one. That was another. Magnum PI. You know, just every once in a while there'd be a show. News Radio. You know, these were shows
I love that one.
He and I would just watch together and just have a good time. Discussion, laugh, and say what was funny about that, you know, and what made Tom Selleck so awesome as Magnum. His favorite episode, by the way, is the one about Did You See the Sunrise? Two-parter, where you find out about the Russian that was involved with their torture when they were POWs. Good stuff. We should do a Magnum PI discussion show too. I really like that.
I don't know when to watch all that.
You don't have to watch the whole thing. You just watch select episodes, like the best of each season. And you've seen Magnum. You watched the first episode with me.
Yeah,
pilot.
that's all. That is
and
all.
It made you laugh when he stopped and he looked at the camera and you're like, oh my God, he broke the fourth wall.
You know, I love it when they do that. I love it.
And he wiggles his eyebrows. Because he's the narrator and he's an unreliable narrator, but it doesn't matter. You love the show anyway. So, but that's it. Equalizer, we will do a discussion on the series. We'll discuss the entire series. Same thing with Magnum PI. We're going to pick a handful of shows that were just classics from mostly from the 70s and 80s. And talk about them. Hopefully, folks will show up for it.
I cannot wait to talk about Queen Latifah.
Martin has been fired from the broadcast.
Look, silence says no.
I have only one thing to say to you, Martin, for that remark, that you are. How dare you interrupt me, Martin?
It was for my own good, Jeffrey.
Y'all come back now, you hear?